You're listening to the Known Legacy Podcast, brought to you by Known Legacy Ministries. For more information, go to knownlegacy.org. Now here's your hosts, Bill and Travis.
Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Travis. How you doing?
Doing okay. Doing okay. It's been a month, man. It has been a month.
It has been a month.
So, anyways, thank you guys for checking in for Known Legacy. We are very excited that you guys are here. As always, you can check us out on YouTube. You can find us on the Facebooks. You can scroll us on the Instagrams. Share, like, give reviews. That'd be fantastic.
Yes.
Hey, Bill, why don't you tell us about the two big events we have coming up?
We have two events we'd love you guys to sign up to. Our first one is our date night. We'd love to have you there. It is September 13th at 6:30 p.m. at Greenville Oaks Church. Sign up today. Check it out. It's going to be a great time. A lot of fun. A lot of laughing.
That's in Allen, Texas, right?
In Allen, Texas.
Yep.
75002.
Nice.
It is the nice thing.
Throwing out the zip codes.
Throwing out the zip codes. You got to love that. So Travis Krim is going to be there. We think he's one of the funniest guys in the world. And he is going to bring you a lot of laughter, a lot of fun. We're going to bring some truth. We're going to impact your marriage. It's going to be a great time. You don't want to miss it. So sign up. That link will be below, as well as our men's retreat coming up. September 19th through 21st. That is going to be a great weekend to get away. You know, one of the things I love about this weekend that we're constantly hearing from the guys who were at the first one were like, can you do this again? Because it allowed me to stop. It wasn't like we were running with information and having to do one thing after another. So it's a great time to get away. We give you some truth, but our goal is that you would connect out there as well. And you'd also stop. I mean, there's guys who've gone out there and just, I need to take a nap for 2 hours and not feel bad about it.
Something holy about taking a nap.
There is something holy about it. So,
and it's something awesome where you can be outside and see the stars.
It really
Get
is.
away from the concrete jungle for a little bit.
Right on the river.
Yep.
It's going to be, and I think it's going to be a nice, according to the Farmer's Almanac, that it's going to be a nice weekend because, you know.
I feel like astrology and Farmer's Almanac kind of fall into the same
They kind of do. They do.
Space, but that's good. That's good. It's going to be a fantastic time. So it's not too late to sign up. Up. We still have some single rooms available as well as double rooms.
Yep.
So that's always good stuff. So fantastic. So, gentlemen, here's the question today. So obviously none of us have a favorite kid, right?
No, not at all.
I mean, if I'm honest, there's days that I do have favorite kids. Anyways, and
well, there's someone that's usually always the favorite at the moment.
Yes,
you know, the least burdensome. Maybe if I can put it that way. Does that sound good?
The one who brings joy rather than sorrow. Yes. And having sent my third kid off to college in the last few weeks, what was your favorite season of your child? Like when I say season, like age. Like, did you really love the teenage years? Did you really love the toddler years? Like, what was your favorite time of life for your kids?
I mean, they've all been good, but not like, because it's just like, but if I had to do it again, the magicfulness of those post like 3-4 years old to like 10. When you get home and you're still their superhero.
Half their life.
So from when they were born to when they were 20. 18 and a half, that was my favorite season.
Well, I think, and I see this because like when my daughter was 4, my son was 7, and so you got that gap of time. So I guess is what I'm meaning is that where there's that magical thing. You know, we went to Disney long before all the chaos of what Disney was now, and you kind of knew about it, all that kind of stuff. But like we went and. We were there for like 9 days, 10 days, and it was magical. Yeah. Because like every character was real to her, to him, and all that kind of stuff. And so, and even when you got home from work, those exhausting days. Yeah. And like they were like so excited to see you, they'd come crashing to the door and like, Dad. Like I guess I kind of like that. It's such an energy maker because now it's like, Dad, can I borrow $20? You know what I'm saying? It's not so much the same energy as it was then.
No, it is not. Kyle, what about you?
Well, part of me likes the 2 to 3 year old when you were like everything. Like it didn't matter. They could ask you, any question, and you could say anything and say, okay. Right. There was no pushback. There was right. You are my.
For lack of a better term, God.
Yes.
I was trying not to say that, but
yes, you were very guarded. I appreciate that.
But I'll have to go with 16.
Okay. Why so?
Freedom.
As soon as they got their driver's license, it just frees you up.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with that.
Nice. Well,
what about you?
My daughter was home from Texas Tech, and my other daughter, not sister, my other daughter had just gotten home from camp, and so they had like 2 days of just binge watching everything and anything.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so they binge watched the latest Wednesday series, and then some school spirit thing, I don't know. And last night I come home from a meeting, and I walk in, and they're watching Barbie Fairy Tale Princess DVD that they watched when they were like
oh my gosh,
8 to 12 years old, right? And it was just all of this. And then the algorithms of Facebook will every once in a while populate. You're like, back then versus now. And you see these pictures of your kids in that kind of age where they're independent. They are their own kid. They kind of has their own personality, and you can kind of play with that a little bit. But they're just so much innocence in that time. They haven't been robbed of like, man, the world is hard and it's going to break your face kind of thing that happens in the teenage years. And so, I would definitely do that like 8 to 12 to narrow it down a little bit more than
you don't want to do like the 4 to 76 age that I was thinking?
No. So I would say the 8 to 12 because that's such a magical time as well. They're trying new things, playing new sports, and man, it's a good time.
There is those moments where their shirt is still on backwards and they walk out like, hey.
Yeah.
Don't you feel that tag on your neck? Or no?
And you can put them in ponytails and they look adorable and cute, and and they're not like, oh, Dad. You're like, no, you're just a little kid.
Oh, it's so good.
And
but they grow up so fast, and I don't mean that like now we feel like they grow up so fast, but they really do. Like I feel like I was talking to someone else, like, wasn't your daughter just born? I'm like, I feel like she was.
Yeah,
and it moves so fast, and then you move into the college years.
Yep.
And I'm finding this, and this is what we're going to talk about today a little bit. Is I'm finding this dynamic of how many of parents are a little lost on how to do this season. Because I mean. I've had questions, and I still ask a lot of people questions, but there's also some things I know that we've talked about the value of, man, when they go off. And that like I remember when we dropped my son off, and I was a wreck. Like I was like 6-hour drive back, and I literally was like listening to some of his favorite music. I mean, he wasn't dead, but you're like,
way to pour salt in that
I
open
know,
wound. Holy
like,
smokes.
what in the world? And so I'm
so
like,
emotional. Let me even double down on it.
Exactly.
Oh.
I'll just get it all out. But I remember like just feeling that thought, like it was the most how do I say it? Like it was the most valuable heartbreak to some degree.
Oh, yeah.
That you're like your heart is breaking, but you're also proud at the same time that you finished this. But it's
the cruelty of being a parent is what I say. Because you spend 18 years investing in raising a kid that you love to hang out with.
Yeah.
And that genuinely likes to hang out with you. Like if you do it right, they are genuinely like, man, I love hanging out with this person. And then success is when you kick them out. Like that's success when you jettison them from the day to day and they're on their own and they're not dependent on you for everything.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky. It is the cruelty of being a parent for sure.
It's hard. And so I think that, and part of why we're talking about this days, I've probably had this conversation with 4 or 5 different people in the last couple of weeks, because it's obviously, school starting up. So everyone's kind of letting them go. Mm-hmm. And I've had conversation with people from the last kid in the house to the first kid in the house kind of thing, like that emotion, like the emotion of the first one that's like, oh wow, like this is new, to the last one where you're like, I don't know what else to do. And so we're in the middle of that. Like we've got one more still at home, but man, it's still fresh with Gabe leaving the house. And so the conversation today was kind of like, man, how do we deal with this kid's growing up, and how do we deal with this as a parent, as we talked, just some practical tools on how to do this. And so man, the first thing that came to mind was even as I was driving down that road back from Wichita, the thought that came to mind was like, man, we got to celebrate the past, and really celebrate all the things. Like it isn't as it's like you go to a funeral and you celebrate all the good things, but like we can celebrate now, but it's like we celebrate with this idea of, man, thank you for this opportunity. But it's not over. It's just different, right?
Right.
I mean, they do come home. They do watch the Barbie series now that they're both in college. And
right.
You catch them with that. But what are some thoughts that you would give to, like, how do you celebrate, Well,
I think that's why it's so important for families to have rhythms and traditions in place, because those are moments where the lives as they go in different directions will intentionally intersect to hopefully have the nostalgia, and that it's been good nostalgia and good memories. And then they're able to kind of go and create their own memories again. And so, I think it's good. I mean, last night we played cards for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and most of the stories were, remember that time. And so, turning off the TV, getting rid of the distractions, and having those moments with your kids to help them remember those things.
Yeah.
But then I think also for me, sitting on the backyard patio for the last few nights and just cherishing some of those conversations I've already had with my son or my daughters, and remembering those has always been. It's been good to look back and see what God has done.
Yeah. I think because the impact of, I would almost say, there's a battle between guilt and grief that kind of happens when they leave the house. You're like, did I do enough? Did I say the right things? Did I speak that? And I think, there's some kind of moment for that. But I think it's also a moment to fight that with celebration. Like, hey, there was good times, lots of good things. And I think there's this feeling of guilt, which then can direct the rest of your steps with your kids. Like, now I'm going to try and catch up with them while they're at house. I'm going to over text them. I'm going to call them. I'm going to all these kind of things. And you're like, time out. Like, it is celebrating all those good things, but then not letting guilt dictate the steps from this point on. And I think that's why celebration is so important. Yeah,
and I think that leads to one of the things that I have heavy on my heart is Jordan Peterson, Dr. Jordan Peterson. He talks about this with the elderly. He says one of the key principles with the elderly, and when you're caring for the elderly, is never do something for them that they can do for themselves. And I think that's a really good principle also for kids, particularly as they're going off to college, because the challenge for us as parents is we know that those things that they're going to do for themselves and have those decisions are going to be more consequential, right?
Yeah.
When your daughter is 3 years old and she wants to pick out her own clothes, no one cares. It's adorable when she's wearing the giraffe pants with the Leonard Skinner shirt and the shoes are on the wrong feet, and everyone's like, oh, it's adorable. The risk is really low. Now you go to college and they have this complete autonomy to make those decisions.
Yeah.
The consequences increase exponentially, and we know that because we have our own scars, our own battle wounds from that, and so we want to inject ourselves into some of that decision-making process, and they're more than willing to do that and let us do that because it's easier for them.
Yeah.
But the hardest thing for us, I think, to do is to move out of the coaching role onto the sideline and be an encourager as they begin to make some of those hard decisions and wrong decisions along the way, because the principle is don't do for someone what they can do for themselves.
Yeah, I think
there's all of these lessons and all of these things they have to gain.
That's such a good
through
point.
The hurts as well as through the successes.
Yeah, because you do go to the sideline, and I think that's what brings us to the second one, which is control what you can control. And I think that's it. Like, what you can control now is, how we respond to it. Like, that is a control. Like, just like you said, like, let them make the mistake as much as you want to be. I want to do this, but I think the biggest thing is like praying for them. Like, we can control that at every moment. We can stop and take that and go, God, there's so many things I want to do right now with my kid. Can you please give me the control not to, like, say this or do, when I was in, or I would, just like you're saying, like, they have to walk through that. I think there's something important for them to pray for them. And like you said perfectly, don't overstep the boundaries.
Right.
Like, let them make those mistakes. It's still safe. They still have a safe place to come back to. It's, the world is hard, but there's still that balance between you have a home that cares about you and we're ready to receive you back, but I'm not going to, like, rescue you from every single thing.
Yeah, knowledge is gained from a distance. Wisdom is gained from intimacy. And I think when we step in and control things for our kids, we're keeping those lessons at a distance rather than the intimacy that they need to gain wisdom for the world that's ahead.
Yeah, and say, hey, I've done what I can to show them who God is, hopefully, to reveal to them, like, hey, this is now your journey, and then I've got to control my response to wanting to rescue every single moment.
Yeah, I think that you also become an advisor if you've been.
Agreed.
If you've had
Agreed.
So my daughter will call me and say, Dad, I'm thinking about this job or whatever, and I'll give her, hey, here's my perspective of pros and cons.
Yeah.
But it's her decision.
Yep.
Yeah, because go for it.
Be a facilitator of good questions as an advisor. Like, have you thought through this? Have you play this out 3 years down the road? Help them have that long distance perspective, not just the immediate perspective. That's really good words, Kyle.
Yeah, and I think you're right, because as the advisor, I mean, you want to kind of, you almost there's moments you want to be like, so go and do this based on what we had happen to us, but instead you want to go, here's all the information. What are you going to do?
Right.
And then kind of walk that. I guess that is that control thing. It's like, okay, because sometimes I feel like they do call and go, what would you do in this? Well, what would you do in it? You know what I'm saying? It's like, how would you do different? Because I feel like we can easily impose all of our fears and our trepidations on, oh, no, well, if you do this, it's going to equal this. Well, it may not. So I love that idea of, like, you're advising, you're on the sideline, you're cheering them on. And, and again, like, that's it, exactly. Be open to when they want your input, but maybe not just direct exactly the steps, but just here's what I would do. And I think having that's the control that we can have.
Yeah.
And then I think I've seen it, and I'm speaking to this guys too, but they actually call more when you just advise them versus like, no, go do this. Mm-hmm. Like, you're right. You're letting them stand on their own 2 feet. There's something really valuable about that.
Yeah.
And then the final thing that jumped up was, man, commit them to God's care. I think there's something in that, one of the guys we had on here, Kelly, he started Soldiers for Faith based on the idea that he wanted to stay connected to his sons.
Right.
And so he would do a Bible study with them. He would just call them up and do like a Bible study, which now has over, I think there's like 80 Bibles. I don't remember how many Bible studies they have, but a ton of them. All because he was like, I want to engage my kid and have this conversation. And I think we can commit them to that and encourage them to say, to be a part of a local community or, a local church. But then from there, you have to commit and say, God, we've done what we can. We've shot the arrows the way that we need to. God, the rest is yours. Because I think it's a hard thing. It's like you want to bird dog them even there. Are you going this? Are you doing this? Are you going to church? Or whatever? Like all those kind of things, and kind of walking through that. And so then instead, again, it goes back to that prayer thing of like, God, they're yours. I've done what I can. I can speak life when I need to. But God, this is your child now to do what you need to with in this paradigm. So. Any thoughts about that?
No, I think you said it very well.
Nice,
I agree.
Nice. I just think there's a lot of parents that are kind of grieving and kind of walking through. Thank you for that wisdom that he said that. But I think there's a lot of parents that are kind of walking through this grieving, and it's like, what can I do? And I think there's this immediate response to want to stay connected. But I also think on the other side, it gives us an opportunity to look back to our spouses, to look back to our families that's still in the house, and not so much grieve the loss, but to say, okay, what can I do with what I've got left? If there's still kids in the house, how can I do this differently now when this one leaves the house?
Oh, let me tell you, my youngest, he's 16 right now, and he is so excited because he's seen this as a windfall.
Really?
An
Wow.
absolute windfall. Because I'm a church planter pastor.
Yeah.
We're not going out to dinner on a regular basis with 6 mouths to feed. I mean, it's $150.
Yeah, it is.
Just to go out anywhere. I ain't
It's a
got
McDonald's
that
or
kind of jack.
Chick-fil-A. Yeah.
No, I ain't got that. Now there's just one in the house. So guess what happens more often? $50, $70 is a lot easier.
It's a lot easier to let go of.
Yeah. And so for him, he's like, when are we going to go out, Dad? I was like, well, let's give it a few weeks. I still got to pay off some college for the boy. But once we get there, we'll go.
We're going
to
steak dinner at Sizzler. So.
Yeah, steak dinner at Sizzler.
But I think it's then to then that's another thing that you can control is to look back and go, okay, what do I have here in the house that I can focus on so that when that when this one leaves the nest or it just becomes me and my spouse, what am I proactively doing to make sure that we are ready for our own success when the house is empty?
Right.
And kind of giving that. So just focusing on those in the future and taking that time to make that happen because...
Yeah, and to interject a little bit, I think there's another component of this. While we're focusing on the kids, there's also this reality that most of your relationship over the last 20 years with your spouse has been focused on kids. And if you're not intentional before they leave to re-engage the dating atmosphere with your bride, to re-engage that and figure out what it looks like for you now. I mean, what it looked like when you were in your early 20s is very different than what it looks like today to date your spouse. Yeah. And if you aren't intentional with that, what's going to happen is the kids are going to move out. Now you no longer have the football games on Friday night that determine your calendar or the events or the activities or anything. And you're sitting at home and you're looking at each other and you're like, I don't even know this person.
Yeah.
And so that is like reinvest, refocus, and do it before they move out. Do it earlier. Never stop doing it.
Yeah.
But if you have stopped doing it, now is a great time to re-engage that relationship with your wife And a date night might be a great thing.
Yeah,
maybe the date night we have coming up.
Yeah,
so come on up.
That was awesome. Great. Bring it up. And I would say there's some other tangible things that we can do. Like, we'll put some resources inside the item line, but one of the things that we just were finished reading with another couple was the 5 love languages, which is a great way to wow, I didn't realize how much I needed that even in my marriage. I was like, wow, this is this is really good. So being proactive with, man, I feel like I'm disconnected. There's some things that you can do to reconnect with your spouse, and one of them is things like that. Is taking the time to engage even yourself with how's my mindset with how I view my wife. Like, that she has been a soccer driving to soccer mom, and I've been a volleyball dad or a band parent or whatever.
Right.
And we're just ships in the night. And now it's like, wow, we're sitting here together, and you're like, we have all this extra time. I'm not saying go and do a big study with them, but engage your heart, get your heart ready to receive or hear from a different perspective. Like, hey, I feel like we're not connected. So maybe I need to do something on my own that you can, and honestly, I even looked on YouTube. There's a free version you can just listen to on YouTube. So then it's not even going to cost you money, but I would say that's a great start. Finding something like that you can use as a tool to reconnect with your spouse, and then making time together a priority.
Yeah.
Scheduling
Tara and I, my wife, we started doing this silly thing in July, right when around the time that her father passed away. And it was... in June, we had gone down the stockyards, and we went to this little quirky little shop called the Tea and Spice Exchange or whatever. And for whatever reason, I got a bag of loose leaf tea. Now, we've never been a tea family. I don't even have anything to brew loose leaf tea. Like, this is completely foreign to me for whatever reason. So it kind of compelled us. So long story short, most nights now, 9 o'clock, I'll turn on the tea kettle that I've recently purchased, right? 3 minutes later, the water's boiling. We put the loose leaf tea in the little thingies. Well, I don't know. I'm sure someone knows what it is. It's like Sleepy Time Euphoria. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's something, but it's fantastic.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's great. And then we sit down and let it steep, and we sit there, close our computers, turn our phones over, and sometimes we just sit there in silence. And it's weird and awkward, and then sometimes she has a story to tell, or sometimes I have a story to tell, or sometimes we have, and unbeknownst to me, that's actually become one of the most precious times of our day.
Wow.
Because it eliminates the distractions, it's a short-term commitment, and it should help us sleep better at night.
Yeah.
So,
I love that.
There's medicinal needs for that.
Because I think what you're speaking into is finding intentional time every day to do that, and whether it's tea or whether it's whatever. I mean,
such an old man.
Yeah. But I like it. I feel like you should have spoken with an English accent when you told us.
You don't want to hear my English accent.
Absolutely. I think that's actually Irish.
I was going to say, my English sounds Irish, and that's just going to piss everyone off. So.
It's not our language. But I think there is something intentionality, like find something. So if you're out there and you're going, man, kids are on the rise to be gone. I'm going to have an empty house. Yeah. How do I reconnect with this person? Finding intentionality now, because, man, you didn't marry him just to have babies.
Right.
You did marry him because you fell in love at some point. And so there's this moment to go, how do we reconnect? Because love is much more of an action than it is a feeling. And so if we can be intentional on taking something like that to say, I want to reconnect with them, that is what's more important. So in these moments of what seems like loss, the childs are going away. We've done the right thing. Like, we're doing the right thing. But this still feels like, why do I feel guilty? Why do I feel sad? Well, those are normal feelings. But then what can I do proactively to prepare for when the house is empty? So these are some great things. So
love it.
Man, I appreciate that little extra. Find that. So, guys, thank you so much for listening today. I hope this is beneficial to you. If it is, share it, like it, subscribe. We'd love to have you share this with your friends, because I think there's a lot of people that are going through this kind of feelings and emotions right now as their kids leave the nest. So
absolutely. Go to our website, knownlegacy.org, and you can find all the info that you need for the date night, as well as upcoming events. You can find information on Bill's book and the men's retreat, and all these tools and resources for you and your family to hopefully wake up, gear up, and come alive. God bless you guys.
Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the Known Legacy Podcast. We'd love to hear from you. So email us your questions or comments to info@knownlegacy.org.